Hey everyone, I know I talk about Twitter a lot on this channel, but that's only because there's like a constant flow of like dumb shit coming out from that platform. Most of the time it's coming from Elon, who just keeps on adding like changes and improvements that don't really add anything to the platform, and I'm 100% convinced that he's given up on working on any other like company and just focused on Twitter all the time. Normally that'd be a good thing, but I don't think he really cares about improving the site, so he just keeps on adding like random shit that doesn't make sense, and I think that's because Twitter has like reached a point where it's so big that people don't really get affected by these changes. And what I mean by this is that even if people complain about what like Elon added new, people are still gonna stick to Twitter because there's not really like a social media platform like Twitter out there. Except soon Twitter won't be called Twitter anymore, it'll just be called X. Like just the letter X, because Elon just tweeted out a short 3-second video where like the old Twitter logo of the bird glitches into an X, and that's all he announced. Normally when a company changes their name and logo, especially like Twitter, which is a really big company, they'll go for like a long like rebranding campaign to get as many people to know that they've changed the name to like avoid any confusion. But so far Elon hasn't really been doing that right now, apart from just the video. The first few signs that Twitter was gonna have its name changed was on 24th of July when Elon said that it will soon say goodbye to the Twitter brand and gradually all the birds. It was a really weird tweet because if this was the first one you saw prior to like any of like the name changes, it would be confusing, especially like the all the birds part, which I have no idea what like he's referring to. But then 2 minutes later, he mentioned that if a good enough X logo was posted, it would go live the next day, and showed a picture of the Twitter app with saying like this but X, which was kind of like an invitation to get everyone to post their own logos for Elon. He specifically mentioned he wanted the logo to like embody all the perfections that make us unique, so people send us in, and the problem is most of them are really bad because they're just clearly made with AI. I don't know how to describe it, but you can always tell when something's made by an AI because of like the lighting and shadows. So most people probably just like typed in their own prompt for like a cool X logo, and exchange most of them came out like overly complex, where like most companies they tend to make their logos as simple as possible to make them like recognizable. And someone pointed out how Elon used to own an online bank called X.com back in 1999. He retweeted this to like mention his obsession with the letter X, clearly showing his other big company, SpaceX. The last thing he mentioned before dropping the video was how X.com would take you to Twitter, which to be honest is probably the only good thing that came out from this change, because to get to Twitter all you have to type is just X followed by .com. The problem is, most people who use Twitter enough to know that like X.com will take you to Twitter will probably just already have a bookmark in the browser to just get there really fast instead of like typing it out. I also don't think it's worth to go through all the effort of getting like the X.com domain, especially when most people are just gonna forget about it after a while. And that's the second problem with this rebranding change, because most people already like the name Twitter and the logo, so nobody's gonna really accept calling it X, so it'll just be a waste of time and effort. To be honest, the bird logo is already good enough because most people can look at it and recognize that it's meant for Twitter, compared to like the X logo, which nobody can really tell that it's meant for Twitter because it looks like so bland and vapid. So I don't know how people are going to be able to like look at the X or hear it and know they're talking about the social media platform. It's such a generic name that anybody could really put it on any company and it would suit it. But I'm guessing like Elon saw that he already owned the letter X because SpaceX was already known by everyone. But to be honest, even this is a stretch. Almost everyone's already hating on this new change because that means tweets are probably gonna have to call something else, even though that was already a good name for like someone's post. And I should mention, the logo he showcased already looks really bland, to the point that it looks like a kid made it in like Adobe Illustrator in 5 seconds, but Elon's already probably like spent like millions on it. I will point out there were some signs that Elon was planning this for quite a while, because when he bought Twitter last year, he did merge into like the X Corp because he wanted to make an app that was kind of like every social media platform all into one. Which is kind of funny because he mocked Mark Zuckerberg for having that same kind of goal when making Threads, even though he was planning on that for himself before. But even with that in mind, I still think it's impossible to make the platform that he wants, so this endeavor of his isn't going to really end well. The reason why every big app is centered around like one form of media, like YouTube is centered around long videos while TikTok is meant for like shorter videos, is because it takes a lot of work to create an algorithm that actually shows people what they want. For example, when YouTube tried to dabble with like shorter videos and like portrait styles like TikTok, they made YouTube Shorts, which is infamous for being really bad, which is showing people like all the stuff that they don't want to see. As well as there being like a flow of bad content due to lack of moderation, which is why accounts kept on like re-uploading the same videos over and over. And actually Twitter already has its own version of TikTok built into the app, but the reason why you might not know about it or haven't seen it before is because it's really poorly built. But personally, it's always showing me the same videos that I don't really care about, and most of the time the videos don't even play. So imagine the stress of trying to make a platform that has every function from every big app like Twitch, TikTok, Instagram and YouTube and a bunch of other apps, while also making it like good enough to use that people actually want to use the app. I understand the desire to have an app that offers everything, but I just think it's unrealistic due to like the amount of effort that it would take to like perfect each system. And we've seen before with problems like the rate limits, showing that like Twitter can really still suffer from like big problems that can really damage the site. Overall, if I had to plan where this new X app is going to end up in the future, I just think it's going to fail, with Twitter going back to its own system and every other big app going back to normal. However, before I end the video, I do want to show you guys some of the designs people made for Twitter when Elon asked for a new logo, because some of them are funny. And that's because most people try to make it seem like it's really deep, even though it's just like a dumb X logo, but they were saying like it has some meaning behind it. And this is a really good example where someone just made an X by crossing two pencils and saying that it represents communication, but I have no idea how they're going to turn that into the logo for Twitter. Then there was this one that, even though it looks like a good design, it definitely looks something like it's mostly for like a gaming or streaming platform, and it wouldn't suit Twitter because it's more of a platform full of different people from like different countries and lifestyles. Then you have this one, which is one of the AI made ones I mentioned earlier, and I can't see how this logo would be good for Twitter because of how much it looks like Game of Thrones would use as a prompt for the AI to make it. And plus, I don't know why a company would want to use a logo that looks so old and vintage, especially when the platform is trying to be very modern and be kind of like an all-in-one app. There's this other AI made one, and someone described it perfectly by saying that it's too complex. And that's the problem with a lot of designs, because they try to be like really majestic looking, but most well-known logos are really simple ones. This one looks like it was ripped asset from a game or a site, kind of like a spray paint asset, and then the person who posted it replied to themselves to tell people to buy their NFT, which made me realize like I think most of the people that made these designs were hoping that Elon would buy it from them for like millions, which even though was kind of like a way to like get more people to get hyped about a new logo change. The last one I'm going to show is the only good one that I actually like, because it's like a mix of the X while also having like the wings from the old bird logo, just to get people to recognize that it's still Twitter. And I would definitely prefer this logo over the one that Elon chose, because it suits the app more and definitely has like more character. Whereas the X logo that Elon announced just looks really generic, like uninspired, to the point that nobody's gonna call it X of like how dumb it is. But it's not that big of a deal, because they might give up making this new all-in-one app and just give up making like the X brand and just stick to being Twitter. But that's all I have to say. So hopefully you guys the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.